Friend of me, any me. All these niggas just wanna be a mini me. All these niggas just wanna be a mini me. All these niggas just wanna be a mini me. Friend of me.
Welcome to another episode of Homestead Hero. Today we're going to be doing a cut and review on the Bad Boy ZT Elite. This is a brand new mower. My buddy Steve got it. He had a Skag Patriot and he grew to despise the thing. So he went out and he bought this brand new. I think it's got 7 hours on it. He says it rides better. He says it cuts better. He says it's faster. And he enjoys it more. So we're going to put it to the test today. Here we have the Bad Boy ZT Elite. This comes with a 54-inch deck. This one has a 25 horsepower Briggs and Straton motor, but you can also get Kohler and Kawasaki options. You have dual hydros that are 3100s, where your foot plate lifts up for easy access to the spindles. Though the spindles are not greasable, they're sealed for no maintenance. You come around to the side with the seat. You got the armrest, the cutouts in the back. It is not a suspension seat, so you can't set your weight, but it is very thick padding on it. You can lift that seat up so you can easily charge your batteries, clean debris. But they do have an interesting shock system underneath it. So it's kind of like a hybrid suspension seat. The seat's pretty comfortable. I enjoyed riding on it. And then in the front, they have their patented suspension for your foot plate. So it makes a lot more sense than the Dixie Chopper one did. That didn't seem to really do much. Right here we've got our quick access panels. The flap can fold up. It already comes with a hinge on it, so you don't have to take the flap off to do it or put a bungee cord around it. They have a foot pedal where you lift the deck, and then that's the dial to set your cut height. You got your PTO, throttle, hour meter, and your ignition. And this is your first cubby for storage. It has a hole in the bottom so it'll drain out rain. And on the other side, you have another cubby, your gas tank. The gas tank holds 6.5 gallons, a cup holder, and a fuel gauge for your fuel tank, which I found quite useful. Right here, you've got the easy maintenance oil change tube. No mess really required. You don't have to get under the mower to do it. You can put that tube where you want it. On the other side, you've got your oil filter, your gas filter, both easily reachable from up top. In the middle, you have your air filter, and then your spark plugs are easily changed as well. It's a really nice looking mower. You can tell it's well built. It's simplistic in style, which is my favorite because that means there's less to break. But when I look at the reviews of the Bad Boys, that right there is everyone's downfall. That pipe doesn't come out far enough, and everyone complains about how much noise the engine makes inside the engine casing in the back. Now, I haven't tried it yet. So I took this mower to my back field. I'm going to cut this in a diagonal. I normally mow vertical, but it's already striped from my other mower. And I wanted to see how well the Bad Boy cut. I wanted to see how well it's striped. And there's a lot more bumps going this way, so I want to see how that suspension worked out. Now, the very first thing I noticed when I fired it up to mow, even with my headphones on, is yes, that engine makes a lot of noise in that back housing. From other people's YouTubes, I've seen what they do is they put like a chrome tip that curves around the back of the mower, and it really displaces that sound. But, I mean, that's something that Bad Boy themselves need to kind of address on their own. This ZT Elite impressed me quite a bit. The suspension, even though it's not a suspension seat, is extremely comfortable. Those springs in the back work perfect. It's just like you're on a suspension seat. It just doesn't have that dial. And then the way that they have that suspension in the front platform, it really absorbs those front bumps, especially going diagonal in this field and hitting everything that has kind of rutted from always mowing it the same way. I could barely feel it. The cut quality on this is really good. I haven't mowed this field in probably, 3 weeks-ish. So it's tall and it's thick. This little 25 horsepower Briggs and Stratton It didn't bog, but there was really no reason for it to. But I mean, it cut really nice. The only parts that it missed was due to operator error. I'm used to a 60-inch deck, so with a 54, I kind of missed a few spots off the rip, but I started getting the hang of it towards the end. The grass dispersion is great on this mower. When I started mowing, I had the flap down, and then I realized that wasn't getting it done. But the fact that it was on a hinge and it holds itself up, all I had to do was reach down and just pull it up, and then it probably shoots 2 stripes over. It's perfect for that, really. I didn't think that a motor that small could make that kind of dispersion, but it does. And with it having a smaller motor, it's pretty gas efficient. I mean, the needle really didn't move the entire time I was mowing these back 3 acres. This bad boy does not have a striping kit on it, but it stripes really well. Especially since I'm going the other way, a way I've never mowed. The only stripes that could be being put down is by the machine, and it did. It looked really good. So the smaller motor does have the good gas or grass dispersion. It has the good gas mileage, but what it's lacking is speed. I would say it probably goes about 7 miles an hour. That's about the same pace as my old Dixie. Now, granted, it's a 25 horsepower motor, and if you were in a smaller yard, I don't think you would notice it, but this field's so big and you just keep making the same stripes back and forth. But if there was something that it could improve on, I think it would be the way it's geared for the speed. My overall review of this machine is that I really do like it. I appreciate the simplistic design. I think it cuts very well. The suspension seat with the suspension platform in the front, they work together very well. It's a very comfortable, smooth ride. The seat is very comfortable. The sticks are easy to push. Now, they do have a little pushback to them, but not quite like the Skag. It's not as easy as the Dixie, but it's in a comfortable middle area. It feels industrial when you mow. It's responsive when you turn it. The mower stripes very well, especially not having a stripe kit on it. It's very gas efficient, especially with the motor that it's got. I like that it has options. You know, I would pick the Kawasaki personally, but that's just a preference and it's still an option. So what concerns me about this mower and bad boy mowers in general is the first thing about this mower is how loud it is in the back. Now, that's an easy fix. You just throw a chrome tip on it. I know, but it's a lot. And the second one is it's not necessarily this mower, but I don't know the longevity of these things. They're a relatively newer company. You definitely get a lot more for your money with this company because they are a newer company, but I don't know how well these are going to hold up. And that concerns me because they're not cheap. But overall, I give this mower a thumbs up.